Alright, hey folks, how's it going? Hermes the Nerd here, and we're still sick, so my voice, now we're even sniffling. It's, not fun, but the content must go on, and yeah, Meta Buster Monday, and I got a really fun one for you. Interestingly enough, so the meta's kind of in an interesting spot with Pixie being frankly all over the place, and Pixie likes to use the nowhere to run effects and those kinds of things to get rid of creatures. Which means that larger creatures usually are okay. Which means enter Reanimator. Now, I have played Dimir Reanimator for y'all in the past, but this is an update that I think is pretty solid. Really good sideboard pivot as well, that can hopefully catch people by surprise and go way over the top. Now, what are we trying to reanimate? Well, we have 3 Atraxa and 3 Valgavoth. Used to be all in on Valgavoth, but unfortunately, with the nowhere to runs, turns off his ward, which means he's just a 9/9 flying lifelink, which, solid, but you're not getting the protection that you're looking for. So, with that being said, we do bring in Atraxa here because now we can at least get a powerful enters trigger, and if they can't deal with it, great, but if they can, so what, we drew a bunch of cards. And now, how are we getting these out of the graveyard? We do have 4 Zombify as before, 1 Cruelty of Gix, an additional reanimation spell with optional flexibility. The tutor's great in long games. It's really solid. And then besides that, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff to kind of keep our opponents off balance and fill the graveyard until we can get these 2 into play. And we are doing that with our very powerful lower end of the curve, where we do have a handful of powerful evasive creatures, as well as some additional threats. Steamcore Scholar is one of the 2 best cards in the deck. It draws 2, usually discards your reanimation spell. It just does so much. Flying Vigilance is great in the format. Rock solid, can't complain. Picklock Prankster, also Flying Vigilance, but the Free the Face side can mill over your reanimation spell and your reanimation target, which means you can grab the spell back and cast it on a future turn. Those 2 are really the backbone. We also have additional ways to filter with both Malcolm, Alluring Scoundrel, and Kiora, Rising Tide. Kiora is kind of in a weird spot. I think she's good as a 1-of. I would never go above more than 1. Malcolm actually is a really cool card. I want to see him more often, so we pushed him up to a 2 from last time. And then we also have 1 Harvester of Misery, which is kind of a backup reanimation target, in particular against go-wide decks like Convoke. And also, it fulfills its role as a early removal spell. And then Overlord of the Belmerk is a way to fill the graveyard and find some of our other threats. We can find our Steamcore to dump our big creature in our hand. We can find Prankster to be able to continue digging deeper, etc. Just 2 of really clunky. You don't want too many of them, but a couple at least kind of helps you get into your mid game with your plan online. Other than that, our interaction is 2 Flood Maw, 2 Duress, 3 Bitter Triumph, and 2 Anoint in addition to the Harvester. Really, again, it's just about keeping your opponent off balance. Flood Maw is honestly better than Cut Down right now for this deck, just because you don't really care about if they replay whatever you're bouncing, because by that point, you're probably going to have something bigger in play. We also do have a cheeky 1 of Jace Perfected Mind in the deck, given that we are running Atraxa. Being able to just have an additional card type to grab is really nice, and sometimes you end up milling your opponent out in a really long grindy game, or you can, if you have a reasonable sized graveyard, you can continue milling yourself and then drawing 3 cards. That's honestly really solid. Mana base has been tweaked quite a bit. Really like where it's at. We have a 3/3 split on our basics just because it's pretty balanced when we need each color. All of our duels, we only have 3 Reef, but 4 of everything else. And then our utility lands are 2 Blast Zone, since Blast Zone can blow up Ghost Vacuums and other graveyard hate pieces. Really, really solid. Also can just, you know, sweep the board of a bunch of one mana value threats and things, which is good against Pixie. And then 2 Fountain Port, because sometimes if we need to hard cast Atraxa, we just make a couple treasures. You know, not the end of the world. In the sideboard, this is where things get really fun. So in particular, we did build this deck around the idea of being able to have a sideboard pivot. And the sideboard pivot is a Curiosity backup plan. So similar to the Dimir Midrange decks and the Dimir Tempo decks, we want to be able to play evasive, powerful creatures instead of having, like, you know, kind of more the interactive side that you're seeing in typical Dimir Midrange. We're just trying to have powerful enters triggers. So Curiosity is really good here anyway, just because we are playing a lot of flyers. And we're going to pair that up with 2 Preacher, good value engine, and 2 Tidebinders, which is just a really powerful spell right now anyway. Those 7 cards will always come in favor of our reanimation plan against decks that typically run heavy graveyard hate, such as green and white decks. They have the best graveyard hate right now. Usually we can fight through a Ghost Vacuum. It's not that hard. Speak of which, we do have a single Ghost Vacuum, which is really fun when 2 vacuums are staring each other down. There's a whole bunch of chicken, and sometimes you end up filling your vacuum with a bunch of utility creatures because they don't want to, like, grab those, because, you know, you can always just ditch a Valgavoth or an Atraxa and reanimate it right away. So Ghost Vacuum is actually really, really solid to kind of put your opponent off balance. We also have 1 Blot Out and 1 The End as answers for the Dimir decks, getting rid of Kaido and Curiosity. Also for Dimir, we have a Sword of Once and Future. Throw this on any of your creatures, and frankly, against any matchup that has black or blue in it, bring it in. Throw it on any of your creatures, and it can usually solo the game, especially since you do have a couple of evasive flyers in Prankster and Scholar. Lastly, since we are filling the graveyard quite a bit, and more often than not, the decks that we want to sweep aren't going to interact with our graveyard, we do have a Terror Tide, which is a really cool, powerful, flexible sweeper. -X is nice. The 4 mana value is really solid, like not too hard to hit. And then, of course, at the bottom, we have 2 negates and 1 additional Jace. Again, negates for interaction against grindy decks, and Jace because, you know, sometimes you just gotta mill them out. Yeah. This is kind of my take on a more meta buster style Dimir. Reanimator really looking to be able to go directly in against Dimir Midrange, Gruul Aggro, and the blue-black or blue-black-white self-bounce decks. I feel really good about it. It's got a lot of good interaction, it's got a lot of good creatures, and, you know, get to do a lot of fun stuff. So let's see how it fares on the ladder, and hopefully we can find some of those meta decks and, you know, put them into the ground. Without further ado, I will see y'all in the first match. Johnny Guitar. Alright. Take the play. Weird hand, but we'll keep just because we can... We have a lot of ways to discard if we find one of our main threats, and we can also get in their hand right away, which is good to be able to save a Malcolm or our primary win condition. So yeah, it's a good keep here. And looks like we are up against Dimir, and they kept a really weird hand. So, you know, sometimes this ends up happening. Oh, perfect. Cool. Now we have something to do. Hopefully we find something that we can zombify. As we were hoping. I'll decline the trigger. Yeah. They want to save their Drowner. Interesting. Okay, so that does mean that they do get to blow out our Malcolm here. So we do need the land off the top to get the Atraxa. But, I mean, if they interact with Malcolm, it's whatever. It means we'll just play Scholar this upcoming turn. Yep, we're going to play Scholar here. Alright, buddy. Wow. Finally have the land, which is good. I think... Feels weird, but I think I want to ditch the Prankster here. I'm assuming just based on the stick, there's a cut down in hand. Yeah. And I can assume they're probably going to try and Curiosity me this turn, which is good. They tap out, we're chilling. We got our Atraxa into play, and even if they... Like, we're still both at high life totals, so... Yep. Alright, cool. They're going to let me do it. Let's see if we can draw and discard a Valgavoth. Ooh, that's not half bad either. But, I mean, we're going to go ahead and discard it anyway, just because we are going to reanimate the Atraxa here. We aren't playing our land because we want to see if we get a tapped land. Definitely you. Free, Sewer, Zombify. And we'll bin the land. Alright, cool. Yeah, I was about to say, they definitely have a go for a throat, like... Okay, cool. So they're just killing all of my stuff, which is fine. Next turn, we're gonna have Bitter Triumph into Zombify, which is really solid. And this time we'll be able to get Valgavoth back now that we have a reloaded hand. Oh, I'm assuming they get rid of Bitter Triumph here. Like, that's what I would do. I would much rather not. Okay. Your poor decision is... Actually, no. Yeah, let's kill you. Bring back Valg. Alright, and we even have a second creature, so if they do have a Shielder's Edict, we are still chillin'. Alright, show me what you got. Kaido, sure. Literally can't touch Valgavoth still. You don't have enough. You don't have enough permanents. Bye bye. Cool. All right, so definitely Tidebinders. Definitely Blot Out. Definitely the end. All of these. Yeah, this is pretty solid. Okay, cool. Yeah. Given that we're up against Dimir, we definitely don't need the Jace. Kyora's kind of a sitting duck, not very good here. Yeah. Flood Maw is not great here. Like, bouncing stuff is kind of whatever. Then while Belmer does help us out, I think because this game's gonna grind a bit more, we don't really want him, especially since he can like throw stuff in the graveyard that they can grab. We don't really want that. We're already taking enough risk keeping in the Picklock Pranksters against it, so. Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, if they're just bringing in Ghost Vacuums, that's something we can easily fight through. Ghost Vacuum's not that hard to play around, especially when we have our own vacuum that we can grab. which does a lot of work. I've even debated adding a vacuum in the main deck because it's something you can grab off of Atraxa and it's just powerful. Literally doing nothing, so we mulligan. Sure. Drop the second Zombify. Yep, show us your Siren. Okay, cool. Alright, so we have double Scholar here. I'm guessing they have another creature. Probably. Sure. Alright, we'll get rid of Mastermind just because we are trying to play Scholar next turn. So we want to make sure that they're not, you know, able to do anything with it. Oh, they're definitely keeping a Duress on top. Alright, let's... Nice. Definitely throw this away. I mean, they're forced to take the Zombify here, or risk just being completely blown out. In which case we can resolve the sword this upcoming turn. Okay, sure. Okay, so we have a sewer. I think we drop the Prankster here. And we keep the Verge on top. Second Zombify is really nice. Oh boy. They have a really, really medium hand. Honestly, I'm just kind of a fan of land and Slam Harvester. Basically force them to want to interact with this. Yep, exactly. And the fact that we have vigilant creatures is really good. So this upcoming turn, because we did have, yeah. Cool, that's fine. Damn. Alright, well. I mean, sure. I'll trade. Okay. Yeah, basically the whole idea of what we're doing is we're just trying to bait out as much of the interaction as we can. So that way we can nice. Definitely. What else do we have in the graveyard? Okay, we do have Anoint, which is huge. Yeah, we can bin the Malcolm too. Ah, yes, you can also Prankster, but I think here we just want to anoint the 2-power creature. And now, like, I mean, it's basically over. Steamcore Scholar is untouchable now. It's 3 turns, yep. See ya! Alright, round number 2. I mean, we beat up on Dimir, so which I mean, I kind of would expect. So, feeling pretty good. A little awkward that we don't have the ability to duress on 1, but that's fine. Yeah, see, this is a matchup where Into the Flood Maw is really good because we have no issue bouncing the heroes. Giant Growth. What is this? Alright, so they do have Slick Shots. Also, this is a matchup where Blast Zone's really going to thrive. Sure, hit me for 2. That's fine. Alright. Go ahead and kind of fix our hand up. Oh, yes, bye, Valgavoth. Cool. Yeah, we just kind of hope that they play their heroes. We can just pop all of them at once with the Blast Zone. And we're just basically going to hide the Blast Zone until the end. Until we basically, you know, need to deal with it. Yeah, I'm assuming they see the Valgavoth and they're like, oh shoot, this is a Reanimator deck. They can get a lifelinker. Also, just having the Duress too is really strong because then we can grab their any spells that they decide to keep in hand. Alright, Challenger, sure. Yeah, I think we just... Oh! They got nothing. Gotta love Vigilance. Yeah, there was no stick, so they actually have nothing, so it's kind of useless to do anything with the Duress. Yeah, I think here we just Fountain Port. Sure. We'll trade. Actually, yeah, No, they have plenty of mana. It's not really worth it. Play you. Draw, discard. Blast Zone. Hiya. Are you kidding? Wild. Yeah, I think here we just clear the way first, and then we'll Zombify next turn. Just because now we know we're not dying to just randomly them top decking something powerful. Sure, show off. Hit me for 1. And Zombify with Flood Maw up. Pretty sure it's GG here. I don't see how they get out of this. Yep. Cool. Alright. I'm assuming this is probably the Leyline version. In which case... I mean, honestly, the main deck's already pretty well set up to play against it. We just bring in the Preachers... and the Terror Tide. Board out a Jace. And then, yeah, board out Jace. Yeah, board out Kiora, board out 1 Baelmerk. Yeah. Like, that's the nice thing. You have a full sideboard pivot if you need it, but both Tidebinder and Preacher come in for matchups just in general because they're solid cards on their own. We keep this just because we do have a couple of surveils. This is good. This is good, so that way if we end up drawing a creature at some point, we can get rid of it. Alright, Rage. Let's take a look. Ah, yes. Double Snakeskin Veil Giant Growth. Cool. Well, it's good getting through all those lands. Yeah, they're literally just gonna one at a time the Snakeskin Veils for extra damage, which is really funny. Alright, Snakeskin Veil, please. Nice. Second hero, sure. Oh, another Flood Maw, that's great. Sure. Are you kidding, dude? I mean, we're just trying to, like, save ourselves from a pump spell. We'll take 2. Nice. Cool. Sigh. Are you serious, dude? Like, we were able to stabilize that well, but then we just draw like this. Good lord. Wild. Honestly, I'd love to see a Harvester off the top. That'd be really good. Yep, bye-bye. Those draws, dude. Man. Oh. Try again. Hopefully this time we don't have to mold a 6 and then draw straight garbage and have to throw away a ton of lands that we don't need. Sure. Again, a blast zone. We have a really good curve, especially if Malcolm can ditch a creature for us. They're mulliganing, which is also helpful. Yeah, this is definitely the leyline version because now they're on a 5. It looks like. They still didn't find it. Ooh, that's also really nice. But they do have the Scamp. Okay, plot a Slick Shot. You got it. Yeah. We like this. We'll ditch Malcolm because we do have another discard outlet, and we're probably just going to play both sides of Prankster next turn. I will happily soak up some damage. Hmm. Cool. Hmm. Yeah. We do this again. And yeah, now we drop this. Ah. What are you gonna do, friend? It is really easy. They just keep doing really dumb things. Alright, so... Oh, man. We unfortunately have to take one. Nice. Huge for us. There we go. Just in time. I mean, we do die to... Okay. Yep. They basically needed to hit. We don't even die. And that's game! Nerds, same. That's me. Oh, I like this curve a lot. You okay there, friend? You're on a 5. I actually kind of like the extra surveil land, because we're going to probably be doing something with these two friends. Okay, Hedge Maze. I'm guessing if this is Hedge Maze, this is more than likely Domain, so... Oh, no, this is probably the Simic, Simic Beanstalk or whatever. Yep, you can analyze. Mm-hmm. Well, we got our Zombify, so now we just need to find our creature. Speak of the devil. Yeah, that's an untapped land, so we'll just go ahead and pass here. Like, that's the thing. Yes, this is a This Town deck, and This Town decks really hose what we're doing, but what is nice is that we do have the Atraxa to just get a ton of value here. Sure. You may beans. Alright, let's have him go to combat, and then we'll just go ahead and kill it. Throw the Atraxa away, and then draw a card. And then draw all the cards. Bye-bye. Hello. I'll take you. Take you. Take you. Take you. And take you. We'll definitely discard the Valgavoth here. It's really funny, too, because if they bounce it back to hand, like, whatever, we discard it to hand size at some point. We also have multiple discard outlets on our hand. Okay, there are nowhere to run deck. So definitely we're going to prioritize Atraxa, but they got the talent? Oh, okay. Sure. Okay, so they have Rona's Vortex, which we can throw away. They have a couple crabs. Or they have one crab. I think... Yeah, I think we just impend here. I'll decline. Yeah, and we'll just do this. It is nice seeing the second Valgavoth. It was unfortunate seeing another Zombify hit the bin, but we're still okay. We got a lot of value, and they're kind of in this right now. And because of their mana, and they have the one swamp, like, not really in the best shape. Here we just hardcast the other Baelmerk. Take the Scholar. Play a Reef. Yeah, because Baelmerk is kind of a huge guy on the ground. Like, all of their stuff is 5/5, so we have something they can easily trade with it. And, like, we don't care if it's bounced. And if they just end up tapping our stuff down to get in a couple damage, we're in great shape because we do have the Bitter Triumph to pitch Atraxa. Okay, cool. Ooh. Yep. Sure. Assuming this means they have a town. Yeah. Oh, they just have unsummon, sure. Alright, so here we Zombify. Again, we want to get Atraxa here just because, like, they have enough stuff to just screw with our... Yeah, they don't want to go through a second Resolve Atraxa. Alright, cool. Sword... Vacuum. Blot out. The end. Negates. Yeah. Tidebinders. Alright. Harvester is kind of not where we're at. Overlord's clunky in this matchup. Cura continues to be an easy cut. Anoint is bad. Flood Maw's good against their smaller things. So we need to make one more cut. Yeah, actually, let's go ahead and trim up Prankster. This should be good. Yeah, realistically, the worst matchup for this deck is Otters by a mile. This one's hard, but doable. Pixie, you kind of don't care. The just blue-black is a little difficult. But, yeah, we can make do with all of this. So now we have... So we have Prankster and Negate for turn 2, which is really good. It means we can... Sure. We have our Blast Zone, so we're definitely negating something. Bro, this is gonna be so funny. Excuse me. Oh, perfect. Sure, you can analyze here. Excuse me. Oh gosh. I'm out of water too. Okay, cool. Oh, god damn it. Oh, god. Alright, so I think here we'll just go ahead and play the Prankster. And then we'll pass. I'm gonna go fill this up. Y'all enjoy whatever my opponent does. Alright, thanks for that. Did they just do nothing? That's really funny, actually. Yeah, I'm guessing they're just trying to hold up a town. Okay, you want to do that? Bye-bye. Cool. Alright, so we do need a discard outlet here, but, I mean, we're in pretty solid shape now. Nice. Let's go ahead and check out their hand. Probably going to take a town. I'm assuming they have it or something like that. And we have a Flood Maw for the token. We have a negate, friend. Yeah, that we could have assumed they were doing that. That's good. Yeah. Sure. Hmm. Now let's just do this. We're gonna block one. End of turn, we're gonna Malcolm, ditch Atraxa. Nice. Okay, so I have interaction. Let me think. So if I sense something, so basically if they have a crab or debt, so we can't do that. Hope is that they play the crab and we just use the end. Not, we do have a prankster. You know what? Yeah, let's use this. I think saving the life is important here. If they end up negating it, perfect. All right. Sure. All this means for me is now I have a free Zombify. Alright, let's see what we got. So we want the second Zombify. Since we're getting the second Zombify, we'll get the Valgavoth. We have a Bitter Triumph for interaction, and we have a Gloomlake Verge. Play the Verge here, and yeah. Discard the Valgavoth. Tons of stuff to hold up. Yeah, they didn't? Yeah. They didn't kick it, so I'm assuming that... Yep! Okay, nice. 3, 4, 3. Let's go. Alright, so we're back for the wrap-up, and yeah. Did pretty well. 3 for 3 against, you know, Dimir, Gruul, and Terror. Terror is honestly, like, pretty popular just because it's, like, less than $100 and a pretty powerful meta deck. So it's good that we did it there. And yeah, because what, like, the Pixie decks, I kind of don't care because they're gonna help us discard. So that's really sick. Yeah, it's, I feel like this is actually kind of a reasonable meta call because you have a good sideboard pivot if needed, but your main game plan is also just like, you know, if your opponent wants you to discard, you're happy to put either of these in the graveyard, especially if you have one of your reanimation spells. And other than that, you're just playing good creatures with enters effects. So like if they bounce your Kioras and Scholars, you don't care. If they bounce your Prankster, you can just go on an adventure again. Malcolm's the only one that's kind of annoying if they bounce, but he also comes in at instant speed, so you can hopefully get it in under interaction and then do your draw discard thing. And, you know, I have free cast Valgavoth before. Still haven't done it with Atraxa, but I've at least done it with Valgavoth. Yeah, really like the sideboard too. Everything just kind of feels super clean. Deck feels great. It's, you know, I might end up actually playing this at an RCQ. Like, I brought it a few times last year, but it got hated out pretty aggressively by Otters. But with Otters kind of on a downswing because, you know, it kind of just folds to both to both the town decks at the top of the table and to Dimir, like, we might actually be able to get this. So yeah, hoping that I'll just have to take a peek and see what our local meta's like, because if there's less otters, then this might actually end up being a pretty solid deck to choose. But yeah, I got nothing else really to go over. Thanks as always for tuning in. Thanks for dealing with me while I'm coughing and being sick. Hopefully for my next draft limited to Mythic, I won't be coughing. So yeah, please go ahead and do all the things down below. You have a like, you have a share, you have a sub, comment, all that fun stuff. Help grow the channel, make some cool things. And yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. This is one of my favorite decks. I've loved playing it. And yeah, see y'all soon.